Hi, this is Todd Singleton from FoodieDaddy.com, and this is Boeuf avec Champignon. Ingredients for today's dish include these nice diced beef chunks. This is a chuck that's been diced in about a 1-inch dice. Usually I don't buy these because they're more expensive than just getting a chuck and dicing it yourself. We've got some other mushrooms here that were reasonably priced. If they had a bigger box, I would have bought that. Just a couple nice Spanish onions, and maybe some garlic. Fastest way to get it garlic, just slap a little bit with your knife and it should break the outer shell, and then you have more fast. So we're just going to do a small dice with our onion. We just make a series of cuts down the onion, and then the natural release segment of the onion give you a nice small dice. We're going to take a little bit of smart oil, a little oil that's good for us. We don't want to waste our money on olive oil in this case because the flavor is not going to come through. It's not going to be pronounced. We're not going to get our money's worth out of olive oil. We buy olive oil because it tastes good, not because it fries any better. We're looking for oil as a device here rather than a seasoning. We'll just roughly chop our garlic, put that in too. Because this dish is going to braise so long, we have time to let the onions and garlic kind of break down. You can see we're already starting to get a little caramelization. Another way to increase that, add a little bit of salt. It'll dehydrate your onions, bring the water out faster, and you'll get a faster caramelization. Alright, I've cleaned up some mushrooms here. Normally I would just wipe them dry because if I was going to use them in a salad I wouldn't want to get them wet, but since I'm cooking them it's fine if I get them wet because we're going to reduce it anyway. Let me get my onions a quick stir here. Now to chop onions, I cut a little flat side. See that? And I just rest it on there. That gives me a nice flat side to cut the rest of the mushroom. Let's do that again. Let's get a bigger one. Cut a flat side and roll it over. And then just chop. Easy enough, right? Flat side. Great. 10 pounds and we're done. We're going to go ahead and add our mushrooms now, because as this dish continues to cook, we're going to now start pulling some water out of these mushrooms. And all those flavors are going to concentrate as those juices reduce. And then finally, we're going to deglaze with some red wine. Put this in a nice medium oven, low and slow. Get all those flavors married together. And then later in the dish, we'll complete the seasoning with maybe a little fresh herb or dry herb. We're going to add probably a cup, maybe a cup and a half of what's left of that red wine that we didn't finish the other night. It's really starting to smell good in here. The beef is really starting to brown. The onions are caramelized. The mushrooms and the juices are starting to reduce. And all that steam is just filling the kitchen with this aromatic love that's just beef. And we know it's going to be just flavorful and tender and delicious. You can buy a good bunch of rosemary for a couple bucks, and it'll last you for several weeks in the fridge, and it really does make a difference over dry herbs. I mean, just cleaning it right now, I can smell it. Really, we just want to take the hard stems out. The soft stems at the end, up here, those will chop right up. But it's this woody part that we want to get rid of. And we're just going to put just a coarse little chop on them, just kind of line them up. Just work really close to your fingers, and one pass should pretty much do it. That's going to go on top of the beef. As it continues to brown and reduce, concentrate those flavors. A product that was in our fridge that we otherwise wouldn't use. That was about $1's worth of rosemary there. Now we're going to do a quick potato galette for the beef dish. We start with a scrubbed potato and a little box grater. You just want to, it's not the best box grater, but it's going to get the job done today. We just want to grate some potato. We just need just a couple drops of oil, really. And we're just going to push the potato out to the edge. Asparagus, we just put it in a pot with a little bit of water and a little bit of salt. It's going to be a last minute thing. These are pencil asparagus and they take not long at all to cook. Pretty much bring them to a boil, they'll get a brilliant grain and just keep them crispy just on the right side of al dente. Enjoy them just the way they are. And the last thing we're going to do is thicken our dish with a roux, which is essentially flour and butter. We incorporate that, heat it up, melt it together. We're going to use that as a thickening agent. When the beef comes out, we're going to put it on the stove, return it to a simmer, and incorporate some of this roux. That's going to tighten the sauce a little bit. And we're going to need to cook it for maybe 15 or 20 minutes more, just to make sure all that starchy flavor from the flour is out. Singleton at FoodieDaddy.com, reminding you to enjoy cooking and enjoy the ones that you're cooking for.